Hi, my name is Alsam Bailey. I'm one of the urology registrars here in Beaumont Hospital, and this is a video session for the surgical scope and hand hygiene. Housekeeping will be ascertained during the live sessions. The cameraman today with me is Mr. Shadi Abu with thanks. So this is a scrub room, and I would like to make you familiar with the space, and then we will do one session of complete hand hygiene, and hopefully by the end of this session you will be able to know the process and how to do the hand hygiene and get into the scrub dress. We'll start with naming the area and showing you the structure of the room. So we have in here, we have the sink, we have the taps, we have the materials for the hand hygiene. So this is chlorhexidine, which is pink, and this is betadine, which is brown, and this is alcohol rub, which is colorless. So what I'm familiar with and what I always try to use myself is chlorhexidine. The technique is very similar to the betadine, and it's also similar to the alcohol with minor changes. On the other side, we have the surgical gloves, and then we have the surgical gowns. They're all sterile, in a sterile state, and then we need to put them out for single use for each surgeon. So I'll start with showing you the steps. By doing a full surgical scrub. Okay. Now this is the tap. So you have cold and hot. You need to adjust it to your preference. This is quite good for me. You need to make your hand wet and basically put some of the chlorhexidine in your hands, and then you start applying to the whole hand for both sides, and you will keep going. So ideally it has to be 5 minutes. Now from now on you will be using your elbow to make this step full of chlorhexidine again, back into your hands, into all your arms. Make sure you apply it to the whole hand, and it's always preferable to keep your hands at the higher levels than your body and far away from your scrubs. And again, and again. Third time, washing your hands, applying the solution into all the surfaces of your hand. Now, the hand itself, you just need to make sure you've got all the details of the hand. And wash it out. Now, again, starting from the beginning, the details of your hand. In and out. And the arm, both sides. And again. Again, keep your hands up with your elbow. Watch the hands. Now in some techniques, some of my colleagues might use a scrub to help cleaning the hands. That's also acceptable, and this technique is also acceptable as well. And Now at this stage, you keep your hands up, and with your elbows you close the tap. Now some theaters are powered with laser, where you can just do everything without touching anything, but this is also acceptable. Now you move on to get your scrubs. So you'll start with these tissues. You'll try to dry your hands. Now, and then you move on here, and there, and get rid of the tissue. And then you move to the other one. And drop it. Now I have clean, dry hands. Now also I just need to get into the scrubs, and it has to be a sterile technique, where I'll hold this way, and then put it aside like this, and then put my hands into the sleeves. That's it. Now one of my colleagues, we don't have one of the other colleagues, so someone will tie me from behind, but I can carry on to put on the gloves in a sterile way. So you have to keep your hands inside the sleeve, and then you open the gloves. So it's all sterile, your hand is not touching anything. So this is right. It's all labeled in the packing. And then you put the gloves inside and pull back. That's your hand here. On the other side, so this is a bit easier because you have a sterile hand. You put your other sterile gloves. Now one of my colleagues should have already tied me from behind, and now I'm ready. I have sterile gloves, and I'm in a sterile field. I need to move on to the theater to start my procedure. So this is a full cycle of how to do a surgical hand hygiene and scrub inside theater. You just need to be aware of the environment around you, make sure there is not a lot of traffic, and if there is, try to make it calm down before you move around, because the last thing you want to do is to start touching non-sterile surfaces and then go in and doing the procedure. This is a full technique. Now we come to removing everything. So after we finish, so it's basically you need to take things this way. And then put it around and into the basket. That's it. That's it then. That's a full course of hand hygiene. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the live sessions. Thank you. And in the live sessions, hopefully we'll be discussing the exact same technique. So one more time, I'd like to show you the components of this scrub room. So we have the sinks, you have the taps, so it can be either manually operated or laser operated. And then you have cold and hot. You need to adjust the way you usually adjust. And then you have chlorhexidine, the pink one, betadine, the brown one, and then you have alcohol. So you can use one at a time. Usually it's not recommended to mix two at the same time. So you use one at a time. It doesn't matter which one you use, they all eventually have the same amount of sterility and results. And then on the other side here you have the surgical scrubs, the gloves with the whole sizes. You need to familiarize yourself with the sizes. So myself is 7.5, some people would be 8, some would be 5.5. And then you have the gowns, it's also size. So there's L, XL and XLL, and basically that's basically the environment you'll be working with. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the live sessions.